Hi everyone, it's svgcoop.com and we are here working on a new project. We're going to be making a bunny bounce buddy, and we're going to also be doing, as a second part, is the card that will hold the bounce buddy. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with making the bounce buddy. This one is, I'm doing it green. I just want to, let's see, I'm just going to show you who we did before. This is him, and when you flatten him down, of course he pops back up. But we're going to be making a card, and I'm going to be doing him in a lime green. So first we're going to start with the pieces that you're going to cut. They have some tabs on them. There's some without tabs. So you can see this one has all they're straight except for one tab, and everything's going to be scored for you. So what we're going to do first is we're going to decorate the outside with the paper that you'll cut to design it. So what I did was, you're going to be cutting little shapes that look like this. But what I decided to do was I ran my pieces like that, and actually there's another piece like this, through my Cuttlebug, my big shot. Anyway, so I used this pattern from Cuttlebug. You can use anything you like, or you can just put them on plain if you want to, but this is what I used. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, excuse me, I'm going to glue these down onto each one of these sections, and you'll see where these score lines are so that you know where to put these inside. Just grab my tweezers. Okay, there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold these like this, and you'll cut enough to go across the whole design. Oops. So I'm just going to start putting these around like this. And just so you don't get super bored, I'm going to put this on so it goes a little bit faster, but I'll make sure that you get to see it all just in case. You want to make sure you're doing it right. You can talk. I'm in a section where I'm going to put it on mute, so.
Just are out right now.
Oh, okay. Wait, you're riding with her parents? Her parents
Yeah.
coming? Oh, were they able to get tissues or no?
There are only 2 boxes, and her mom needs them too, because she has allergies.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine.
Love you.
I love you too. Okay, so I just want to stop for a second. So you're going to see that when we do these, we're going to line these up so that the holes here and on the bottom match. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flip this pair over so that I decorate the outside of this one. And I'll show you why I'm doing that after. But right now what you want to do is you want to, it doesn't matter which one you match up with the ones with the tabs, as long as when you do it, your lines here like this line up and that the cuts are the same. Okay, so let's see. All right, so like this. So you can see my holes line up and my cut lines up, and then that way I can decorate the back side. Okay? I'll keep going. Okay, so now that we have those all glued, I just want to show you these up close. So you're going to see how if we fold this down, the score lines are just outside of our pattern here. So what you can do is you can start to fold these actually on their score lines, just so that they can start to bend a little. Like this. So you're going to do that for each one of the 4 pieces. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold these real quick. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the piece that's going to go on top is your piece, go back here, that has the ones with, oops, sorry, this one, the one with tabs. Oh, nope, I'm sorry. What's this one? Oh yeah, it's this one. Okay, sorry. So if you have the one that has this extra tab here, it's all flat line except for these 2 and then this side tab. This is going to be our top piece. And you can tell because there's no hole in the top. And that's going to attach to one of our bottom pieces that has all of these tabs. Now the ones that have all the tabs like this are identical, so no worries there if you're not sure which one goes with which. But what we want to do is we're going to hold the one with all the tabs like this and hold it with your circle and your line like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to match it up with this one so that, see, the little tab lines up and that lines up. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue these 2 together like that. Okay, so I'm just going to put some glue here. You can also use score tape if you want to. I think in my last one I used score tape, but this one I'm going to try glue. I might actually use a combination. Okay, so again, we're going to line these up face to face, and we're just going to, whoops, put them together like this. So you just want to get those lined up as best you can. Oops, keep sliding on me. Okay, and then squeeze that thing together real good. Okay, so you can lay that flat like that. Now, you're gonna have you're gonna cut 4 tabs like this extra from our decoration. I accidentally did put 2 through the Cuttlebug, but it doesn't matter. They're just to help make it a little bit more sturdy. So normally you'll just have them look like this. But like I said, you know, mistakes happen, right? Okay, so going to glue these down, and what we're going to do is we're going to put them in the same space where we just, so you have this tab lifted up, and I'm just going to put this right under here like this. And it's just going to give it a little extra strength where the elastics are going to go. I'm going to do that for both sides. like this. Okay, and then we're going to put the other two here. Okay, so now you're going to see the part where we have the little hole here. We have two little tabs. We're just going to glue these tabs in like this. It's just going to help keep that a little bit more secure. So you're just going to fold those in like that. I'm just going to hold those for a second. Okay. Now you can hold them down if you want to with a paper clip. We're going to do the same on this side. So these little tabs in the middle here, just going to glue these. And you don't have to worry about what it looks like really, because you won't see it, it'll be on the inside. Okay, some glue here. Just gonna hold those there for a second. Okay, and then these last two. I just want to get those pressed on there so that they stick. Okay, now what we're going to do is going to flip this over, and you see how we have the hole here. What we want to do is we need to take not the piece, so we're going to take the piece that doesn't have the tabs, and we're going to stick a brad through here. We're going to come up from here. Oops. From the inside, you're just going to stick the brad in there. I'm going to mess this up with this, but before we do that, what I want to do is I want to put some glue here, because I don't actually want it to spin. If you want the head to spin, you can not add glue, but I actually don't want the head to spin. I want it to stay in one direction. So I'm just gonna put this on here like this. You want to make sure, if you're going to do it this way, that you get this thing lined up. So when I say lined up, I just really mean that the sides, it doesn't matter which side you want the face to go on. So from that perspective, it doesn't matter, but you want to make sure that the tabs kind of line up like this. Okay, and then you can give that a press and knock that down like that. So you can see my tabs are lining up here. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we need to do the same with the little tabs here. Now I actually had cut some extras of these for my first project, so I didn't cut extras here, but you will cut, the file will have it so you cut just the right amount. I just didn't cut them all because I already had some. So again, we're going to do what we did, just like we did for the other piece. We're just going to glue these on the places where you have these tabs and the little hole here. So I'm just going to stick that in here like that. Okay, so we're just going to get them put here, and then we also have our other piece. I'm going to put 2 tabs here. And of course, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. So you have 2 choices. Well, 3 choices. You can put these extra tabs in to make it a little bit sturdier. If you want to, you can cut enough to go all the way around, or you don't necessarily have to do them at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue these little side pieces like this. This side. Okay, I'm going to pull this one over and do these 2. Okay, and then finally the last 2. Okay. All right, so now what we need to do is we're going to get the elastics in. Actually, before we do that, for the top piece, this piece where there's no hole, you might as well glue down your piece here. While it's flat, it'll be a little bit easier. Okay. Okay, so what we need to do now is we're going to start to get the elastics in here. So you're going to need 2 elastics. These are number 16s from Staples. So we're going to be using the one where you have the brad facing towards you like this. So we've got the top over here like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick the elastic in like this, and then over and into that circle like that. Okay, and then what we need to do is we're going to, actually, maybe before we do that, we should glue this together. So what we need to do is we're going to glue these 2 facing pieces together. Okay, so I'm just going to get some glue here. It'd be easier if we do it before we put the elastic in. So you're just going to put some glue here. We're going to glue it just like we glued the first one. I'm just going to put these down together. Will just be a little bit more interesting because it's going to be closed now. So you just really want to get those lined up, squeeze it together as best you can. And I think what I might do is I'm just going to go grab a clip and clip these so that they stay nice and tight. Be right back. Okay, well, while I was looking for the paper clips, it dried, so I'm not going to worry about that. Anyway, so now you're going to have it where you have the 2 pieces like this. And what we need to do, and this is the part that makes it a little bit interesting. You can fold these back if you want to. We're going to stick the elastic in up the little stripe over towards the middle and then into the hole in the center there. So I don't know if you can really see that, but see how it's in the center there? And we're going to do that then with the other side. So I'm just going to come through the slice in the center and down and into where the hole is. Okay, so now when I put this down, it should bounce back up. And if it doesn't bounce back up, you can make the elastic tighter. Okay, but I think that's pretty good. Okay, so now what we want to do is we're going to have to start connecting our tabs here. Now this one has an extra tab. Okay, so we're going to fold this tab. This is the top, so we're going to fold that tab actually towards the top like that. Okay, because you'll see we have a second tab here. So what we're going to do is, while trying to hold this flat, I believe the easiest way to do it is you're going to pull this tab up, the one with the extra tab, just pull it away from you, fold the tab underneath it down, and we're just going to put some glue here. Oops. And you're just going to glue that together like this. Okay, and I'm gonna put a clip there for a minute just to hold that together. Okay, and then you're just gonna go all the way around, fold the tip down. And glue that together like that. Oops, I gotta make sure this is out here. You want to make sure all your tabs are out before you do that, because that gets a little tricky, doesn't it? Okay. Okay, so this one, I'm going to hold the tab down. Go glue like that. Okay, this one. Okay. Put another clip there. Okay, so while those are drying for the moment, we can now flip this over. And what we're going to do is the same thing we did with the bottom. So we need to make sure that these are lined up like this. So you have the hole and the line going in the same direction as the one above. We're going to put some glue here. Fold this down. We're going to make them kissing buddies again, just like this. So you can see underneath, we're just going to put those together like that. So the holes are same. That's so that our elastic will go through here and go to the circle. Okay. We can put our elastic through the one side here now. Okay, so you can see it's in the hole there. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to glue this piece here. Now, actually, before we glue that, going to take our other brad. I can figure out where it rolled away to. Hold on one second. Okay, here it is. I'm going to take the other brad and I'm actually going to stick it through here. I'm just going to open it up. We're going to be using that when we attach it to the card, but for now, you can just do it like that. Okay, so we're going to put some glue here. We're going to match these two up like we did before. I'm just going to hold that for a minute. Make sure these pieces underneath hold. I'm going to take one of the clips off of here and put it on here. Okay. Now once that sits for a minute, we'll get the other elastic in. You can start taking the elastics off of the other pieces now. Okay, so you can see our top is already kind of popped up here. Okay. So now that that's dry, just open this up. Okay, so I'm going to fold these tabs back so you can see where our elastic is that we put in before. And we're just going to attach the elastic like we did on the first one. Let's stick it through into the end and then inside into the middle here. Okay, so it's, again, it's the same thing into the circle. And we want to flatten this out. This, and we're going to do what we did before. If it's easier, you can do it this way. We can lift these both up, put your tab in, glue it, put this down, maybe attach it with a clip. Okay, and then we're gonna same thing here. Just gonna get that clip in there. Okay, fold this up. Okay, then we just have one more. Okay, just put that together so it can dry for a minute, okay? So that's kind of what we look like. And we just have a few more steps. Okay, so our next step is going to involve, I've got this double stick foam tape. You can use, you know, like the foam sheets that you get, and you can use score tape to make these if you want to, if you don't have this, which will work perfectly well. So what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to cut a piece of this, I guess about almost an inch, and I'm going to actually cut it in half this way, and then I'm going to cut this one piece into a 1/3 piece and a 2/3 piece. It doesn't have to be exact, so don't worry about that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually take our double piece and we're going to put our 2/3 piece up towards the top and take off the tape cover. Then we're going to put our 1/3 piece also right at the top like that. So it kind of looks like a little staircase. Okay, see how that is? And then what we're going to do is take the back piece off. I'm going to add a little extra glue here, I think, to this. Put a little glue on the back. And you're going to glue this so that the little pieces up top, we're going to do it where this tab is, this extra tab. So you're going to glue this right along the edge here like this. Okay, so you've got the tab is going to come up like this. Oops. Tab is going to come up like this. Okay, so you want the little piece on top, so you're just going to get that glued down. I'm actually going to put a little extra glue here as well. Okay, and I'm just going to glue this tab kind of so it makes a flat surface. So I'm going to glue that. Let that dry for a second. It sounds like my laundry's done. Okay. All right, now I'm going to start to take these off. My paper clips here. Okay, so now you can see we have a double box here. Just want to put that down there a little bit and just hold that so that it stays. Okay, so you can see we have our double box. Now this is going to be our front because we have this extra little tab here, okay? So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually make the body parts, if you will, that are going to go on our bunny. So we'll be right back with that video. Okay, so now we are on our second phase of our bunny, and you're going to be cutting out background pieces that look like this. And I cut my pieces out of vinyl that we're going to be decorating it with. You, of course, can use paper if you want to, but I like to use the vinyl, so that's where we're going with this. All right, this is going to be my pieces that we're doing in green. I'm just going to cut out the arms here. I'm going to start with his face, and I'm just going to lay my transfer tape over his face here and grab my scraper. And then you pull this off of your transfer tape. Again, if you wanted to, you could cut this out of paper, but I like that all my pieces are exactly where they need to go. So I'm just going to lay this down right on top here like this. Just gently lay that down and pull the transfer tape off. Okay, and then we're going to have the gray pieces here. I'm just going to cut off the 2 feet. And we'll start with the face. I will say vinyl is fun. I know a lot of people are a little bit afraid of it, but once you start using it, so easy, so much fun to use. Okay, so now we're gonna just line this right up on his face like this. Okay. Whenever you're laying vinyl like this, you always want to start with your biggest piece or the pieces that start with the outside. It's like doing a puzzle, so you always want to start with the outer pieces. Now, let's see. Next part is we're going to have the inner parts of his eye. So I'm just going to grab this in his mouth. It's just going to lay right exactly where it's supposed to. That. Okay, and then there's going to be a brown piece for the inner part of his eye. So he's going to okay. Just going to lay that like that. Okay, and then you're also going to have a little pink piece for his nose. I'll just grab that. And you just fit that in there like this. And then there's also going to be 2 pink pieces for his ear. So the skinnier piece is going to go on the ear that's standing up here, like this. Okay. And then the other piece will go like this. Okay. I'm just going to lay that like that. Okay, so now we have his face, and if you want to, excuse me, you can add like little white dots of paint to give him a little sparkle in his eye, which I may do after. Okay, so then you're going to also have another piece. It's going to look like this. We're going to lay that down, and that's going to go with the other green piece that we had. So these are his paws from the front. So I'm just going to get my transfer tape. I'm just holding this still with my fingers underneath while I line this up. And once you have it lined up, just lay it right down. Okay, so there's his paws there. All right, then you're going to have a white piece. This is for his tail. I'm just going to grab this. And again, I'm just going to hold it with my fingers underneath. Sometimes it gets a little staticky and I'll start to lift up ahead of time. I don't want that, so I hold it with my finger. Okay. And then you're going to have a piece that looks like this. I'll just show you close. And another white piece like that. Okay, get that laid down. Okay, and then, let's see, 2 more pieces. We're going to have his feet. So what you want to do is, when you're putting these together, you want to make sure that they don't get flipped over or whatever. So if you're not sure, you can take a look at your vinyl pieces so you can see that this is going the correct way. And this one, if you lay it on top, does it, excuse me, look like it's going the right direction? So in this case it does. So I'm just gonna grab the 2 gray pieces off of here. Okay, I'm just gonna do this kind of, we're going to do it one at a time. So I'm just going to hold this down and line this up like this. got this one. Just get that, oops, lined up too. Okay, now I noticed while I was doing this, they didn't weed out this little piece as part of the paw, so I'm just gonna do it now. And you can see vinyl is pretty forgiving. You can do things like that after the fact. I'm just gonna get that out of there. Okay. And weeding, just in case you didn't know, is just really taking out the negative parts of your image that you don't want. All right, so now we have 2 sets of little pink paws. So you just want to make sure that the right ones are lining up with the right foot, the correct foot, I should say. So I'll get this off here first. And this one's gonna go, oops, this foot. So those are the feet. Now we're gonna pull our body back out, and you're going to have a couple more vinyl pieces here. I'm just gonna grab those with my tape here. And these are gonna go, so if this is our front, one piece is gonna go to the side, on this side. Again, you can cut this out of paper if you want to, versus vinyl. And we're going to put the other one on the other side. So you're going to have that one there, skip the one with the middle, and then this one. Put that here. Give that a little scrape there. Okay, now we're going to take our little piece that you have like this, and we're going to actually glue that to the top of our arms like that. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm just going to go grab some score tape. Hold on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of this score tape. This is Sukwang. I got it from Amazon. In the days when I guess you could get stuff from Amazon a little bit easier than right now, but that's okay. Oops, actually I should have put that along the bottom, a little closer to the bottom. Okay, so pull that off. Okay, we're just going to glue that a little bit above the arms, like that. Okay, and we can put some score tape along the whole back here. And this is going to glue, this is our front, this is going to glue right here. Actually, I'm gonna just pull this in a little. It shouldn't have gone all the way out to the side that way. It won't matter really, but I'm just gonna rub that in a little so it's not so far out to the side. Okay, you're just gonna glue that right to the front piece like that. Okay. All right. Then you're going to have 2 pieces that look like this. So we're going to put one piece, this gray piece here, and you didn't necessarily have to glue this piece on, but unless you plan all of it super far ahead, like to know exactly which square it is, it's a little bit easier to do it this way, to just put it on top. So I'm just gonna put that on top like that. And then I'm gonna glue this piece on top also. Oops. Like that. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put my glue away for a minute. I'm gonna use some score tape. And I want to stick the feet onto the bottom like this. So I'm gonna put some score tape along the bottom here. So I think it'll do make it a little easier. So I'm gonna put the score tape here. Let's see. Open this up a little. We can rub it a little better here. Fold over the excess glue there. Okay. So we're going to just take one foot, and you just want to kind of line it up like that. And then the other one like this. Okay, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to flatten this for a second. We're going to put some score tape on here. Okay, I'm doing 3 rows. Give that a good rub. Pull the tape cover off. Like that. Okay, and then we want to stick his face on. So I want the face to kind of cover a little bit of his lower part. So I'm going to kind of line the cheeks up with about the top there. So I'm just going to give that a good rub, and you'll see when we press it down, it kind of looks like that. Okay. All right, and then on his back side here, I'm going to put some score tape on his tail. I'm just going to glue that right there. So now when we flatten him out, just press that on there real good. Okay, so here he is, and he's ready to be popping and bopping, but we want to attach him to a card. So the next section will be creating the card base for him. So we'll be right back. Okay, we are back with our bunny bounce buddy, and we're going to be working on the card that he's going to be attached to. So you're going to be cutting 2 pieces that look like this. One will have score lines around it, the other one's just a square with a hole in it. So we're going to take the one with the score lines on it, and I cut 2 8x8 pieces of chipboard. I used the chipboard from like in between paper packs that I bought, so you can use that as well. I'm just going to line this up in the middle here like this, and I'm going to put some score tape around the 4 sides like this. And we're going to basically wrap this chipboard like it's a present. So you'll see score lines in here. So I'm just gonna line that up inside the score lines. And fold this, pull the tape, and just fold it up like that. I'm gonna do that for all 4 sides. Like this. Okay. Okay, now we're going to set this one aside. Then I have another piece of 8x8, and what I did was I took my ruler and I just basically went from corner to corner and drew a line so I could find the center, just like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my big bite to poke a hole in the center. So I'm just going to, and I'm using the 1/8, let's see, I'm going to put the 1/8 hole setting. You can use a hole puncher, you can use a paper piercer if you want to, anything you like. I'm just going to happen to use this whole big bite here and put the hole in the center there. It's not exact, but it's okay. All right. So then what I want to do is I'm going to put my pattern paper on top like this. So I'm just going to put some score tape around here. Actually, I think I'll put the score tape on the chipboard this time. Okay. Like this. All the way around. And then I'm just going to pull the tape off of there. Like this. Okay. And we're going to do our best to line up this paper, and our hole hopefully will line up as well. Let's see. That's pretty close. Okay, so what we're going to do is now we're going to put 4 sides on here to our card that are going to fold down. And I'm going to show, we'll walk through one of them completely, and then one of them we just have to add some extra little parts. So you're going to cut 4 pieces that look like this, and you're going to cut 8 half circles like this. And again, they'll be in the file. So I'm just going to glue both of the blues to the front and back of the black piece. And it's going to go in the upper part here, like this. Okay, pull that around and flip it over. Both sides are the same, so it won't matter which one you do. This is supposed to be kind of a sky, so if you want to use pattern paper for this, you can. I decided to use cardstock. Okay, now for this side, we're just going to keep building. So then you're going to have another piece. I cut mine out of grass paper. So you can use pattern paper, you can just use green cardstock if you want to. This is going to go next. It's going to line up right with the bottom, and it won't matter which side you use. It'll line up the same. Okay. Then you're going to have a fence, and we're going to glue the white fence on here. Now the fence, you're going to have 2 that face one way and 2 that face the other way. So when you're doing this, you need to make sure that you line up the grass pieces, and I'll show you what I mean in a second, with the proper fence piece. Okay, so see how this is all kind of lumpy here? That's because there's a grass piece that's going to go there. And you're going to cut those. And they will not match exactly to all the pieces, so you have to make sure that you match them. 2 will be one way, 2 will be another way. So we're just going to put some glue on here like this. And it lines up right with the bottom. Like that. Okay. And for this one, we're going to add our butterfly. So you're going to cut a background piece like this. And then I cut this piece out of pattern paper. So again, you can do it all in cardstock if you want to. You can put pattern paper underneath and on top, you know, however you like to do it. I'm just going to line those up. And then you're going to have the middle piece like this. Now these look the same, but they're slightly different. So you're going to get two butterflies. So you want to make sure that it lines up before you start to glue it down. So this is the one for this butterfly. I'm just going to line that up like this. Okay, and I'm just going to glue this right to our little seam here, like this. Okay, now the next one, all the backgrounds on all four are going to be sort of the same. Like I said, the fence is going to change a little bit and the grass. Now this one, you're going to have two flowers. I cut mine out of pattern paper, and I'm just going to put the centers in. You can mix those into whatever colors you like. You're going to have two flowers. Okay, and then I'm just going to glue these down. You can glue them any way you want to. You can ink these if you want to. I'm just really trying to show you what you get with the basic files. So I didn't really do any of that. Okay, and so you can see the back is the same. All right, so now you're going to have four that look like that, and I cut my other butterfly out of different colored pattern paper. And what we're going to do, just put the glue away here, is there's going to be a score line here. So I'm going to fold this, each one of these tabs on the score line. I'm going to fold them so that the design is down and the paper is coming up. You can do it however you want to. You can make it so that the design is on the outside of the card, or you can put it on the inside. I decided I'm going to put it on the inside, but you have options. Okay, so with this done, I'm going to put 2 pieces of score tape on each side like this. I like score tape for this because it tends to hold a little bit stronger, a little bit better. So definitely something you want strong for this card so that you can open it and close it a bunch of times. Okay, and then we'll get the base ready. Okay, so I'm just going to start taking off the score tape here on one side. That might be funny, can't get it off. Okay, so we're going to take our round piece and I'm just going to line this up. And like I said, I decided to put my plain side on the outside. So I'm just going to line this up on the side here, center it, and fold it over so it looks like that. Okay, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to alternate, so I'm going to put butterfly, flower, butterfly. Of course, you can decorate these with anything else you want to too. I'm just going to get this on here like this and hold it down. Okay, and then my butterfly. Okay, like that. And then the last one with the flowers. Okay. I'm gonna okay. Then what we're gonna do is we're going to take our adorable bunny. And this part's going to be a little tricky, so we're going to flatten him out. I'm going to open up the sprigs here underneath. And we need to put them through the hole in the center here. Oops, get that lined up. Sorry, I just wanna, it's a little hard to do on camera, but just gonna get that through and then put these down like that. Okay, so now our bunny is sitting kind of in our little garden here. All right, and then what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna flatten him out a little bit here. I'm gonna fold these up. I'm gonna flip it over. And I'm going to put some score tape along the bottom of this part, like this. Okay, now we're just going to line this up with the bottom. Let's see. Okay, and press that down real good. Okay, so then our bunny will pop up here. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, next thing I want to do, actually, I'm going to put him aside. Okay, so now we need to work on our belly band. And you're going to cut two pieces that have this kind of an end and a score line. So you're just going to fold this on the score line, both of them. And I'm just going to put some score tape here on this end like this. And on this one too. Okay, so once you give that a good, whoops, my score tape stuck. Once you give that a good little rub, sometimes if you rub these things with this thing that you use for vinyl, just give it a good rub like that, the paper comes off so much easier, I think. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to stick this end to the end without the tab on it, and you're just going to line it up like we have done before. Okay, and then you're going to do the other end like this. Just going to get that lined up and press down. Okay, now I've cut a matching blue piece that matches the background of the other pieces that we did, so I'm just going to glue this down. Okay. Get that on there like that. And then I cut a couple of bigger flowers. I'm just going to put some glue on here. I'm only going to put it in the middle because I want them to be a little bit floppy. I think I'm going to glue my tag next. You can write on your tag, or you can, you know, cut something out with text using your Cricut, however you'd like to do it. I'm leaving this open because this is for a friend to give to their grandkids for Easter, so I'm not going to write anything on there so she can. And then there's a smaller flower. They're both the same shape, it's just one is smaller than the other. And I'm just going to twist it around a little. Let's see. I'm going to go like that. And then the middle piece. And then what you can do is just kind of curve these flowers up a little and give them a little dimension here. Okay, so now we've got our card. I'm going to put our bunny down. Push our bunny down. I'm going to pull all the cards over like this. Okay, and then we're going to slip the belly band right over our card. Like that. And then you can put your tag on. You can write on your tag. And you're all done. All right, there you go. Thanks for watching. We'll be back. Okay, so this is a preview of our Bouncing Buddy bunny card. I'm just going to pull off the belly band. And once you open the card, the bunny will pop up. And you can see him with the different patterns on the inside. And then somebody can just put this out and play with the bunny and watch him bounce. All right, thanks for watching. We'll be back with more projects.